That's higher than any other demographic in the country, by far. A lack of decent education leads to a lack of opportunity. That often spirals into crime and drug abuse, a cycle of entrenched poverty that is difficult to escape.
The junkies on the corner, the little young boys who stand outside and sell drugs, the ones that stand outside all day and don't do anything with their lives, 26 years old, lives home with their mother, doesn't have a job, has 6 kids by 4 different women. When you go down the street, you see the blue light cameras all on that's what we laugh and joke, the blue light district. Whenever you see the blue cameras on the end of the street, you know that you're in a heavily drug-infested, violent area.
You said on the night of your inauguration in 1987, it would make me proudest if one day it simply could be said of Baltimore that this is the city that reads. How did you do it?
I gave myself only a C. Gave myself an A for effort, but you know, in this world, you want results. But the key, the big enchilada, if you will, of making a difference in the community is a significant improvement in the elementary and secondary education. And that's where I can say we didn't succeed.
Just this year, in the U.S. state of Michigan, a class action lawsuit was filed by the American Civil Liberties Union. The state is being sued because hundreds of students in an overwhelmingly African American district just outside of Detroit are functionally illiterate. Black males have paid a terrible price for academic failure. The lack of a proper education has had an impact on the family structures of the African American community and on the nation's justice system. Come back home to Baltimore, Maryland to explore a startling statistic. While 78% of white males graduate from high school in the United States, less than half, just 47% of the country's black males are graduating from high school. In New York City, that number is even worse. And increasingly, when black males drop out of the education system in America, the lure of fast money on the streets leads to another system, the criminal justice system. According to the U.S. Justice Department, black males make up 40% of all prison inmates. However, African Americans as a race make up just 13.6% of the U.S. population. In Baltimore, it seems every black male you talk to has had some negative interaction with police.
Yes, just recently, last night, I'm coming from the basketball court at Federal Hill, had my shirt off, just walking back, and the cop was like trying to get us to fight him, I guess. The whole week was walking back just because I had my shirt off.
Well, like a day like this, I was out on a day like this, and me and some friends were out. We were just sitting back with a couple of beers, which we shouldn't have been outside doing that anyway. But, you know, they made it seem like we were like selling drugs or something like that, and, you know, they shipped us off to jail for overnight.
They pulled me up a couple times. They thought I looked like a criminal apparently, so you know, I've been pulled up, asked what's my age, what's my ID number, and everything. So it's happened a couple times.
The rate of black incarceration suggests there is something more going on beyond racial profiling.
Judge Stewart, is there a bias in the criminal justice system against black males?
Yes.
I assembled a group of Baltimore judges, prosecutors, and defense attorneys to discuss why so many black males are in prison.
Can you explain that bias, please?
I think it starts way before it gets in the courtroom. I think that you walk down the street and you see folks standing on the corner. If a young African American guy, can I just say black? If a young black kid walks by, somebody puts the purse closer to them. If it was 3 white guys, they wouldn't do that.
The broader point is, poor black neighborhoods are policed more aggressively.
The police, we're going into a high drug neighborhood. They talk about the neighborhoods in which people live as if they were the jungle. This is how they talk about where people live. Well, this is where you are. But maybe if you went to some other neighborhoods, you would see the same thing. But it's where they know they can get the numbers. It's where they know they're going to find what they're looking for. If you don't look, you won't find it. Now, I'm not saying that it's not happening there, but I think it's a bias that we have as society, we've pretty much adopted. And rap music and what people now call style and all this other kind of crazy tattoos and all of that stuff doesn't help any.
I don't agree. I don't think the system is biased. I think that there is a community of problems and issues. But I think the fact that we have diversity on the bench and we have judges who are not going to treat that young black male.
But before they get there.
But he asked a question about in the criminal justice system. And when he said that, he's talking about in my courtroom. And my answer is no. And I'm thinking of some of the other judges, including you, and I'm thinking, no, it's not biased.
Right. There are various courtrooms, and they're packed dockets. And if you're a defendant and you come in there and you don't have the right mannerisms, don't have an attorney that's fighting for you, you can get caught up in the system. And there are plenty of people that are over in jail that didn't do what they were convicted of.
But my thing was, the criminal justice system doesn't start in the courtroom. And that's where I'm talking about there is bias. It starts long before they get to the courtroom. And I think that the black male isn't given the benefit of the doubt.
What's life been like growing up for you here in Baltimore?
It's been kind of shaky dealing with my mom and her habits. Because my mom, she's a recovering addict.
17-year-old Darius Gibson is an honor student who has never been in trouble with the law. But his college plans are in serious jeopardy after a drug raid on his family's home in which he was arrested. Facing 5 years for drug and gun charges linked to drug paraphernalia he says belongs to his mother, and a broken gun that belongs to a relative, Darius is frustrated because he says police have refused to give him the benefit of the doubt.